Welcome back. It's been a while. I do apologize. I have been very busy, just with lots of little things. Anyways, so I thought I'd start getting back into the groove of doing videos again. And today I've got a quick little lesson for you about memorizing skills. Now, I know this is a huge problem for students. Well, if I had a hair, I would say this is the one subject that I'd usually pull my hair apart on this one. So the biggest problem with scales is, one, students tend to find it quite boring. They don't really understand the purpose of learning scales. And the issue is that then they go about completely learning or going through the process of learning in the wrong way. What I tend to see very often is that they'll come in 1 week, I'll have, especially when you're doing sort of the grading exams of, let's say, RSL on that, you have a bunch of scales to learn, and they always hate that part, and I hate teaching them because I know that they're not going to do exactly what I'm asking them to do. But I do give them some tips, and then they get through it, and it takes a bit of a while to really keep at it, and then it takes a while. So what I wanted to share today with you is how to learn your skills in a slightly quicker way. Now, I'm going to put a couple of caveats here on this. Do not take this as a way to think this is the quick way to learn it and that's all I need to do, and Troy told me I was going to learn it so quickly, why am I still not able to play those scales or learn them super quick? That is not what I'm saying. When you're learning a scale or when you're learning an instrument, there are stages of learning, and there is the basic learning, which is getting the information, let's say, from a piece of paper, in this case a scale diagram, into your brain, and then transferring that knowledge from your brain into your fingers. Then the final stage is for your fingers to get enough repetition so that they can actually repeat the movement as often as necessary and whenever necessary, okay? So what I'm talking about here is that initial process of getting the information from the sheet, for instance, that I as a guitar tutor would give to my students, to getting that sheet of paper into their brain. So getting that. Now, the one thing we're blessed with the guitar, and sometimes and also often occurs, is the guitar works very much in patterns. Now, our brains actually work very well with patterns. The problem is that is also the problem later down the road, is that you start thinking too much in pattern and not often in music and notes and all that. But for the purpose of learning scales, patterns are actually very useful to use to be able to memorize your scales. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you a little scale diagram, just probably up here, I'll pop it up here. The kind of typical scale diagram I show to my students, as you can see it. Now, what I would like to do is base my example not around the sort of 3-note per string scales, but actually over the sort of more cage format. And there's a reason for that. I'm taking a slightly more complex way of playing scales because of the fact that you've got certain strings with 2 notes and then 3 notes. So yeah, you're breaking the mold of just 3 notes per string, which makes the learning process slightly more challenging. So what I'm going to do is take the basic sort of, cage system major chord. So we're going to be in the key of major scale. We're going to be in the key of G, and this is how we're going to go. You've heard that before, simple enough. But anyway, so how do I proceed in teaching that to my students? So what I would say to them is, look at this. Look at the chart first, the diagram I've given you, which you saw earlier. And look at it and try to pick out any patterns that are similar between strings, or any fingerings that are quite similar between strings, because that is going to help you to actually memorize and build around that scale. So if we actually look at the pattern there, and this is where it gets to the process, what I would say to them, look at the pattern and only focus on your left hand, obviously if you're left-handed. Focus on your fretting hand and get the fingering there. So I would tend to write down the fingers as well that we're going to be using, and I'm very strict with fingering because I think it's really important to get consistent fingering when you're learning a scale. So if we look at the pattern that we have on that cage chord scale, we've got 2-4 fingering wise on the E string. Then we've got a string of 1-2-4. Then comes the easy bit, because the next 2 strings have got the same fingering of 1-3-4, 1-3-4. And then actually it's quite easy because we're coming back effectively to the original fingering of 2-4 and then 1-2. Now we're ending up on 2 here. We could have gone to pinky and add the sort of 9th there, but we're going to finish on the root because I think it's important to play scales root to root just to get an idea of how they sound between different octaves. So then if you just then do the reverse process to come back, you're going to go 2-1. Then this time, obviously, you're going to have to think everything in more with your pinky because on the way back, you're going to go that way. So you're going to go 4-2, then 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 4-2-1, and then 4-2. Do you see? So again, one more time. So if we go from the top, and notice I haven't used my right hand picking because I'm eliminating the issue of picking the notes and hearing anything yet. I'm just solely focusing on my fingers and getting my brains and my eyes and everything to watch the fingering of this scale and memorize that. So 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, and then back 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. And at that stage is when I would tell the student, now try to play it with your right hand and see if you get it right without looking at the sheet that I've given to you. So you're going to try to go 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. I do believe in also trying to say that loud. It does help. Sometimes students get a bit shy about that. I get that as well. But if you're practicing at home, why not by yourself? And then I would encourage them straight away to play for somewhere else so that you're starting to memorize the scale a bit more. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that. Now, this is basically what the method I give them. Now, let me explain a few things here. You do still have to proceed with repetition. There is no way of escaping that because just the learning process at this stage is not going to be enough. You do have what I would call the assimilation process, which is really trying to then assimilate the thing under your fingers so that every time you get a trigger of I need to play a major scale, you can just play it. Okay? So there's no you can't avoid that. You have to spend some time just going up and down the scale, for a number of days until it's completely memorized. Okay, but what we're talking about is that initial phase of learning, which is seeing the scale diagram on the chart that your teacher's given you and getting it inside your head so that you can start playing it here. Okay, and try that with other scales as well. Now, obviously, some scales are easier than others because the patterns are easy. The minor pentatonic is obviously always a good one to learn because you've only got like 2 fingering patterns of 1, 4, then 1, 3. So all you have to do is remember which strings you've got 1, 4 and which ones you've got 1, 3s. And then you can take it from there. Like I said, use the guitar, the benefit of the guitar, the fact that it works in pattern at your own benefit. Because obviously in other instruments like the piano, it's you don't have any options but to learn each and every scale fingering because of the fact that as soon as you introduce accidentals, it becomes a bit difficult. Anyway, try this at home, see how it goes. Or if you're taking lessons from your teacher and your teacher's having a go at you that you haven't spent any time learning the scales, why don't you try actually using this method if your teacher hasn't told you that. To be fair, a lot of teachers use that method, so I'm not unique in this one. Until next time, stay safe, stay metal. Please, if you haven't done so, subscribe. I will be posting a lot more little tips like this going forward and other videos and fun stuff. Anyway, take care, my friends. Bye.